Daniel slammed his fist against the steering wheel, the horn blaring into traffic as if shouting on his behalf. His breath shook, and for a moment he couldn't tell if he was angry, scared, or both. All he knew was that his phone screen kept flashing the same message, his mother saying his father had collapsed and that he needed to come home. But Daniel's throat tightened each time he tried to start the car again. He wasn't ready, not after their last conversation, not after the words he had thrown like knives. "I can't face him," he whispered to no one, leaning forward, forehead pressed against the wheel. "Not like this, not after everything I said." A couple of cars honked behind him, but he didn't move. His mind replayed the fight, his father's disappointed face, his own voice rising, the sentence he regretted the moment it left his mouth. "I wish you'd just stop pretending to care." Those words had split something between them, something fragile, and now the thought of seeing him in a hospital bed made Daniel's stomach twist. He shut his eyes, trying to steady himself, but the heaviness inside him only grew. It felt like a pebble trapped inside his chest, grinding against his ribs every time he breathed. He muttered, "Why can't I just let it go? Why can't I just act like a normal son?" He wasn't sure if it was fear or shame or anger he hadn't figured out how to put down, but it was something, and it was eating him alive. He finally managed to pull over and step out of the car. The heat from the sun struck his face, but he barely noticed. His hands were trembling so much he had to shove them into his pockets to stop it. He started walking, not caring where he was going, just needing space to breathe. His phone rang again, his sister this time. He declined the call, then another message. "Daniel, please, Dad asked for you." "Of course he did," Daniel muttered bitterly. "Now he wants me around, now after years of acting like I was never enough." But even as he said it, his voice cracked. He heard the bitterness in his own tone, heard the way it covered something more tender, something aching that he didn't want to admit. He kept walking until his legs burned, until the noise of the city faded behind him. He found himself on the old footpath near the edge of town, a place he hadn't seen in years. It led to the river he and his father used to visit when he was young. He hadn't gone back since their relationship began crumbling. His feet dragged forward anyway. The path was quiet, thankfully. His thoughts were loud enough. He replayed every memory, his father teaching him how to skip stones, his father clapping proudly when Daniel finally made one bounce twice, then 3 times. And then the adulthood memories, arguments, misunderstandings, disappointment after disappointment. He rubbed his chest, whispering, "Why does it still hurt? Why can't I forget?" As he approached the riverbank, he noticed a man seated near the water. An older man, maybe in his 70s, tossing pebbles into the current one by one with calm precision. Daniel considered turning back, not wanting to be seen in such a fragile state, but the man looked up before he could escape. "You look lost," the man said. Daniel forced a dry chuckle. "I'm fine." The man tilted his head. "You're holding your breath without noticing." Daniel blinked. "What?" "People who carry heavy hearts forget to breathe right." The old man smiled, tossing another pebble. "Sit, the river won't judge you." Daniel hesitated, but his legs felt too heavy to walk away. He sat down, lowering himself into the grass with a sigh. The man didn't look at him, just kept tossing pebbles. "Want to talk about what's hurting you?" Daniel stiffened. "Who said I'm hurting?" The man shrugged. "Your shoulders." "My shoulders?" "They're tense," the man said. "People only tighten their shoulders like that when they're protecting themselves." Daniel wanted to laugh it off, but the words sank too deeply. He let out a sharp exhale. "I had a fight with someone important to me." "Someone you love?" the man asked. Daniel's throat tightened. "Yes." "And now something has happened to him." Daniel turned sharply. "How do you know?" The man held up a pebble. "Because the heaviest pebbles in the heart come from love mixed with guilt." Daniel looked at the river, blinking rapidly. "He collapsed today, my father. I don't know how bad it is yet. He asked for me, but I couldn't go. I got in the car, tried to drive, but my chest felt like it was crushing me." His voice shook. "I don't know why I can't just go." The man didn't judge him, he simply nodded. "Tell me what happened between you two." Daniel swallowed hard. "I told him he didn't care about me, that he always wanted me to be someone else, someone stronger, someone he could be proud of. I told him I was tired of trying for him, and I meant it, every word." He paused, voice cracking. "But I hated how it sounded, I hated how his face changed." "And now?" the man asked gently. Daniel pressed his palms together, trembling. "Now, I don't know if I want to take the words back or if I want him to finally understand how hurt I've been. I don't know what I want." The man picked up another pebble. You're afraid of facing him because the truth inside you is tangled, part anger, part love, part fear. Daniel lowered his gaze. It's all mixed together, I don't know how to separate it. You don't have to, the man said, you only have to acknowledge it. Daniel let out a shaky breath. I've spent years pretending I wasn't hurt, that I didn't need anything from him, that I was fine, but I'm not fine, I'm exhausted. Most people hide their pain until it starts hiding them, the man replied. Tell me more, speak until the pebble shifts. Daniel swallowed. He always compared me to others, always pointed out what I did wrong. I tried so hard to impress him, but he never said he was proud, not once. His voice softened. I think I just wanted him to say he saw me, that's all. And you're scared he'll leave this world without ever saying it, the man said quietly. Daniel felt something inside him crack open. He nodded, unable to speak. The old man placed a pebble in Daniel's hand. This is the pebble in your heart, the one you've carried for years, heavy, sharp, and quietly shaping every emotion you have. Daniel stared at the pebble, breathing unsteadily. How do I get rid of it? You don't get rid of it, the man said. You understand it, and once you understand it, it stops hurting the same way. Daniel closed his fingers around the pebble. I'm scared. Then you're finally being honest, the man said. Honesty is the beginning of peace. Daniel stared at the pebble in his palm, turning it over slowly. It was small, smooth, harmless, yet it represented years of tangled emotion he had never dared to unravel. He whispered, almost to himself, if it's this small, why does it feel so heavy? The old man reached for another stone. Because you didn't carry only this one, you carried every moment you stayed silent, every time you pushed your feelings down, every time you believed you weren't enough. He let the pebble fall into his own hand with a soft tap. One pebble becomes a pocket full becomes a burden. Daniel clenched his jaw. What if talking about it won't change anything? Talking doesn't fix the past, the man replied. It frees you from reliving it every day. Daniel looked at him sharply. And what if my father refuses to listen? What if I go there and it gets worse? Then you will at least know you tried, the man said gently. Peace doesn't come from what others say. Peace comes from finally saying what your heart has held hostage. Daniel felt his throat tighten. I'm tired of holding everything in. Then don't hold it anymore. A breeze rustled the grass. The river murmured as if agreeing. Daniel breathed in slowly, releasing a shaky breath. The weight on his chest felt different, still there, but shifting, loosening, no longer suffocating him the same way. The old man glanced at him. Tell me, if you saw him now, what would you want to say? Daniel hesitated. I don't know. No, the man said, tapping the pebble in Daniel's hand. That's the pebble talking. It protects itself with uncertainty. Say what's underneath it. Daniel closed his eyes. I'd tell him I'm angry and hurt, and tired of pretending I didn't need him. And Daniel exhaled, and that I miss the version of him who taught me how to skip stones, the one who laughed with me, the one who didn't look at me like I was a disappointment. The old man nodded. There you are, that is the truth behind the anger. Daniel opened his eyes, feeling tears prick at the corners. It's not supposed to be this hard. Anything involving the heart is difficult, the man said, but it's also worth the effort. Daniel wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. Do you think he ever cared, even if he didn't know how to show it? The man skipped a pebble across the water. 1, 2, 3 bounces. Parents often love loudly on the inside and quietly on the outside. Many don't know how to translate that love into words. He smiled sadly. Sometimes they grow up with hearts full of unspoken pebbles too. Daniel's chest ached at the thought. What if he was struggling all this time and I never saw it? Then go see him now. The words hit Daniel with unexpected force. His breath caught. The river, the wind, the man's calm presence, it all suddenly felt like a moment suspended between who he had been and who he could be. The man continued, you cannot change the years behind you, but the hours ahead, you still have those. Daniel stared at the river. It felt like a mirror reflecting everything he had hidden from himself. His anger, his fear, his longing, they all blended into one overwhelming truth. He didn't want to lose his father with unresolved words between them. What if it's too late? Daniel whispered. It is only too late if you decide it is, the man replied. Peace waits for the brave, be brave. Daniel breathed in deeply. It still hurt, it still scared him, but he finally felt something else beneath it all, a small spark of resolve. He stood slowly. I think I need to go. The old man nodded once. Good. Daniel hesitated. I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to, the man smiled. Just don't let the pebble win. As Daniel turned to leave, he looked at the pebble in his hand one last time. With a steady breath, he tossed it into the river. It sank quickly, rippling the surface in gentle circles. The old man raised an eyebrow. Feel lighter. Daniel nodded, a little. That's how it begins. Daniel walked back toward the town with a calmer pace, each step feeling more intentional. But as soon as he reached his car, fear clawed at him again. His hand hovered over the door handle. He whispered, "It's okay, you're doing this, you need to do this." He got in, started the engine, and drove. The hospital's white walls made his nerves spike again, but he pressed forward. His sister rushed to him as soon as she saw him. "Daniel, where were you? I've been calling." He swallowed hard. "I'm here now, how is he?" She sighed, "Stable but weak. He keeps asking if you're coming." His stomach twisted. "I'll go in." As he approached his father's room, his steps slowed. Old patterns tried to take over, the doubt, the defensiveness, the emotional armor. But he forced himself forward, one breath at a time. When he entered the room, his father was sitting up slightly, eyes closed. He looked older than Daniel remembered, more fragile, more human. "Dad," Daniel said softly. His father's eyes opened. Surprise flickered across his face, followed by relief. "Daniel, you came." Something broke inside Daniel. Tears gathered instantly. "I'm sorry, I should have been here sooner, His father shook his head weakly. No, I'm glad you're here." They stared at each other, the air heavy but poised for release. Daniel stepped closer. "Dad, I need to tell you something." His father's eyes softened. "I know we haven't been okay." Daniel shook his head. "No, I need to say it. I've been angry for so long and hurt, and I didn't know how to talk about it. I thought you didn't care." His father reached for his hand, gripping it with surprising strength. "Daniel, I've always cared. I didn't always know how to say it right." Daniel's voice trembled. "I just needed to hear it." "I'm sorry," his father whispered. "If I made you feel unwanted, I'm sorry." The apology struck Daniel straight through the heart. The heaviness he had carried for years loosened all at once, unraveling like a knot finally given room to breathe. "I'm sorry too," Daniel whispered back, "for what I said, for waiting so long to fix things." They held onto each other, not saying anything else for a moment, and that silence, unlike all the silent years, felt full, healing, honest. Daniel's sister wiped her eyes quietly from the doorway, not wanting to interrupt. When Daniel finally stepped outside for air, the sky looked different, wider somehow, softer. He drew in a deep breath and exhaled slowly, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. Not because everything was fixed, but because he had finally faced the pebble inside his heart. He smiled faintly and whispered, "Thank you, whoever you were." The old man was nowhere in sight, but the memory of the river, the conversation, the simple wisdom, it all had carved something new inside him. A path. A release. A beginning. And to anyone watching this story till the end, Daniel would tell them this. If you found meaning in it, if it touched you, if it reminded you to reach out to someone or face something quietly weighing you down, don't leave without subscribing, liking, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Someone out there may need this story too. Because peace begins with one brave step, one honest moment. One pebble finally released.